but you raise the standard of living for all Americans. All Americans in the process. Look, folks, the people who took us for granted before are now figuring out without us, they're in trouble. Whether they are a union or not, without us, they're in trouble. And right now, the middle class is under attack because labor is under the most direct assault in generations. You know, to state it simply what I stated 2 years ago at some of your national conventions, the other side has declared war on labor's house, and it's about time we stand up and understand it for what it is. Folks who didn't believe it, even some labor members who didn't believe it, across the country from here in Ohio to Wisconsin to Florida, they're reopening fights we thought we settled 50 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, governors are rolling back collective bargaining rights. They're trying to pass paycheck deception laws. They're pushing the right to work for less again. And in Washington, the new Republican House majority is going after Davis-Bacon, after project labor agreements, after the Department of Election. Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Labor as well. When I said the Department of Elections, I wasn't kidding. Look what they're trying to do here in the state of Ohio. They're doing it all over. They're trying to fundamentally alter the availability of people to vote. Because you know what? They know something really very, very simple. When ordinary people get a chance to vote, they reject what these guys stand for, these economic royalists. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the same guys that came up with subprime mortgages, derivatives, credit default swaps. These are the same guys that further cut taxes for the super wealthy, shifting the burden to ordinary people. These are the same guys who tried to privatize Social Security and now want to voucherize Medicare. And the result of their actions, the 8 years before we came to office, not only weakened labor, but thrust our country into the deepest economic recession any time in our history, short of a depression.
That's right.
Look, by the time they left office, 8 million people had lost their jobs. We went from a budget surplus to a hemorrhaging debt. And now, as my friend Bob Goldie said, now, in the exercise of chutzpah that exceeds all, the ironies of all ironies, they literally are using their failed economic policies and excesses to justify taking away your right to bargain for safe working conditions, a livable wage, and decent health care, because they say we can't afford it after they wreck the economy. It's about time we forced them to acknowledge their excesses and begin to pay their fair share. It's literally absurd. They not only want you, but they want this beautiful young girl here. And Dad, I hope you have Secret Service with you, because she is gorgeous and she is great. She acts like she's 20 years. She's clapping for all the lines. She is a labor girl, I can tell you. Her belly button to her fuso. What's your name, baby? Pardon? Maddie, you're something else, kid. I tell you, Liz, she's going to be the president of the CIA. But look, face it, what's this all about? It's about shifting the burden for this debt to Maddie and to your parents. It's not about us right now. It's about our kids and our parents. That's how they want to pay for their excesses. Folks, it's a simple scam. It's a scam. What we're fighting for is what my great-grandfather fought for in his generation, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother. They fought for simple things. Just the right to be heard. Think about it. I don't want to make this complicated. It's about just the right to be heard. They fought for social justice and economic justice. They stood up for a fundamental, basic American promise. We all call it the American dream. It's corny, but literally it's true. A basic promise. That if you worked hard, if you're a decent person, you played by the rules, you loved your country, there wasn't anything you couldn't do. For the first time in generations, this generation of Americans is wondering whether or not that dream is alive. Not only for them, but will it be there for their kids? Every American, we believe, you believe, my ancestors believe, every American who does the right thing is entitled to a decent job, entitled to live in a safe neighborhood, entitled to have the opportunity to give their kids a good education and send them to college, entitled to save a little bit of money to retire so their kids don't have to take care of. That's not asking a whole hell of a lot. That's what our generation had. That's what all of you, that's what Barack and I had, and that's what we're fighting for. That's why you're standing here in the cold listening to some guy from Washington. But that's also why we appointed the daughter of a Teamster, a congresswoman, with a strong pro-labor record to be Secretary of Labor. That's why we fought to put thousands of auto workers back to work, making a decent wage right here in Ohio. That's why we put people on the National Labor Relations Board who wear striped shirts, not black shirts. They're supposed to be referees and protect workers' rights, not steal them. That's why we fought so hard to pass the Affordable Care Act, to ensure decent health care for every American. And you guys made it possible, and you didn't need it. You didn't even need it. That's why we're cracking down on worker misclassification, so employers can't avoid paying taxes and deny work benefits